Okay, my fabulous 6th graders. So this is kind of a review set of notes. However, we're going to throw some other things into it that we've been talking about, such as decimals, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing, fractions, there's going to be integers, there's going to be all sorts of fun stuff in here. So, here we go. Page 23 of our notes. We're going to take notes on the order of operations. This is the order of operations 6th grade edition. So you're going to be taking these on the 17th and the 18th of this week. Okay. So table of contents, page 23, order of operations, 11, 17 of 20. So we're going to turn to the next available, right and left side page, right past multiplying and dividing integers, right hand side only. I'm going to flip my page over. So I don't forget, it was 23, right? See, I've already forgot. Turn that way. Yep, it's 23. Okay, page 23. So, order of operations. (11, 17, 20, 20). Okay, and our objective. I can utilize the order of operations to evaluate, also meaning solve, expressions. Okay, so I can utilize the order of operations to evaluate / solve expressions. Okay, so here we go. True Miss Lewis fashion. Except we're going to switch it up a little bit. Okay, so we've known order of operations as PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay, but remember I told you guys that this was going to be 6th grade edition. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of things. I've got to get my colors out here. So I'm going to draw a pretty good sized box. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to go down 12. Okay, I'm going to go back up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to split those in half, just like that. And then I'm going to start right here. I'm going to come out a little bit further. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Bink. Bink. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bink. Okay, so I have 6 here, 6 here, 6 here, 6 here. Okay? There's a reason for my madness, as usual. So if you need to pause the video, go ahead and pause it. Okay, so order of operations. So the first step in our order of operations is to solve everything in parentheses. This is a P. I'm going to make it nice and pretty. Okay. And then brackets. But it's also braces too. My child is over here watching a movie. She's watching the old-fashioned Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And they're at the part where he has a blueberry for a daughter. So if you hear her saying things, that's why. Okay, so come out over here, the P equals parentheses. First B equals brackets, and the second B equals braces. That's what they mean. So you have parentheses, open and close parentheses. You have a bracket, open and close bracket, and you have braces. Now the reason you have that is because parentheses inside parentheses get confusing, so a lot of times they'll do parentheses inside a bracket. Well, then if you have parentheses inside a bracket, well, it would get really confusing if you kept on with those, so you do parentheses inside a bracket inside of braces. So these are also called grouping symbols. Okay, so you'll see it as that also. Grouping symbols. Because it groups things, associates them together. So those are our grouping symbols. Okay, so that is the first step. Anything that is in any set of grouping symbols, we work first, and we work on these. We're going to work the innermost first. Okay, so if they're embedded, so say there's some parentheses inside some brackets, we work what's the innermost first, and then we work our way out. Okay, so we always work the innermost first. So now the second one is still our big E for exponents. Remember, our exponents are what tell us to multiply our base to itself that many times, and I didn't realize I was using Christmas colors until just now. Guess I'm ready for Christmas. Okay, so we got exponents. So remember, an exponent is like x to the second power. This is my exponent. Okay. So now, the next thing we have multiplication. And division. Okay, and remember, this is from left to right in the order in which we see it. So it could look like multiplication to division, or it could look like division to multiplication, depending on which one comes first to the furthest left in the problem. Okay, and finally, we're always going to end, if we have it in our problem, We're going to end with addition. And subtraction. And again, it's from left to right. So if we see addition and then subtraction, that's how we work it. Or we see subtraction and then addition, that's the way we work it. So remember, order matters here. Okay? So, now that we have a resource here, we need to work some problems, okay, and show what some of this is going to look like. Okay, so we're going to work some problems out over here, and I want you guys to pay really, really close attention because I'm going to do my best. I really like to do this when we're all together and go through that, but I want to give you guys a perspective before you come to class, okay? So we're going to work at least 2 examples here in our notes. And then when I have you back in class, we may work some examples on our left side page thinking, just to give us a little bit more to go with. So let's look at some of the problems that we're going to see, or some problems like what we're going to see, I guess I should say. So let's look at example number 1. So we have, and this is a numerical expression, we have 1/2 times 4 to the 2nd power minus, I have a bracket, 2 plus, oh, here's some parentheses that are embedded, 3 6/10 divided by 9/10, close parentheses, close bracket. Okay? So this is all one numerical expression that we have to solve for. So we come back to our stuff and we say, okay, well, we're going to work from our top down. So, do I have parentheses, brackets, or braces? Do I have a set of grouping symbols? Yes, I do. So it says to work the innermost first. So what that means is that I've got to work, I've got to work these. These are the ones that are inside the most first. So what I'm going to do, and this is what I expect you guys to do every time, just like I did last year, and I told you guys it was going to stay the same, you're going to rewrite your problem exactly as you see it till you get to that point. You're going to do 1/2 times, and it's kind of like a fill in the blank, 4 squared minus my brackets, 2 plus, so now I'm going to fill in the blanks, but when I fill in this blank here, notice I'll be taking care of those parentheses, so I can get rid of those parentheses because I will no longer need them, but I've got to keep my brackets. So now, 3 6/10 divided by 9/10. Well, I've got to now apply my rules for dividing decimals, and so it tells me that what I'm dividing, okay, stays, and then my divisor, I need to make a whole number. So it's 3 6/10 divided by 9/10. So I'm going to move the decimal one place to the right here in order to be able to work it. Whatever I do to this one, I have to do to this one. So now it becomes 36 divided by 9, right? Well, that's a basic math fact. What is 36 divided by 9? Well, it's 4. So I'm going to fill in the blank with 4. Now, if you can't see that mentally, then you come up here and you say, okay, well, I've got 3 6/10 divided by 0.9. I follow my rules, one space to the right, one space to the right, straight up in the problem, and I work it out here. Okay? But if you can't see it, that's what you have to do. Okay? You have to do it over there to the side. So now, we go back through. Okay, we've got a new numerical expression because we're here now. This is our new numerical expression because we're solving it step by step, so I've got to go back through. Parentheses, brackets, or braces. I still do, so I've got to solve for these. So, once again, I come back and I rewrite my problem. I have 1/2 times 4 to the 2nd power minus. Now, when I solve this, and I should have underlined it, I apologize, because this is the next part I have to solve. When I solve this, I can get rid of my brackets because I'm going to fill in the blank. So what is 2 plus 4? Well, it's 6. So I filled in the blanks. I'm done with my brackets. Okay, so I can get rid of those. So now, I have 1/2 times 4 squared minus 6. So I go, do I have parentheses, brackets, or braces? No. So I'm done with this. So now I move on. Do I have exponents? Why, yes. Yes, I do. Okay, so here are my exponents. Right here. So I've got to solve that. I still have to write down the problem exactly as I see it to that point. So I have 1/2 times, I'm going to fill in the blank, minus 6. So 4 squared means 4 times 4. Because it means I'm multiplying 4 to itself 2 times. 4 times 4. 16. So I'm going to fill in that blank. Okay? Okay. So now I have 1/2 times 16 minus 6. Most of you want to do 16 minus 6 because that's something that's easy for you in your head. You cannot do that. Refrain from doing that. Okay? So do I have parentheses, brackets, or braces? Nope. Do I have exponents? No. So do I have multiplication and division? Yes, I see a multiplication symbol. So I have to work this in order from the way I see it, from left to right. So the next thing I'm going to work is my multiplication. So I'm going to do 1/2 times 16. So here we go. 1/2 times 16, I'll fill in the blank, and then I'm going to put minus 6 because I don't want to forget that part. So 1/2 of 16. Well, when we're multiplying fractions, remember I can put this over 1. I do straight across, that would be 16 over 2. What is 16 divided by 2? Well, it's 8. Good job. So I fill in the blank with 8. So now I have 8 minus 6. What does that give me? Because now that's the only thing I have left, and it's addition and subtraction, right? 8 minus 6 gives me 2. So that is the answer to my numerical expression, 1/2 times 4 to the second power minus 2 plus 3 6/10 divided by 9/10. Okay? So remember, when we do it, it kind of funnels down. Okay, so as long as we're getting smaller and we're funneling down, we know that we're kind of on the right track as long as our mathematical facts are correct. Okay? Okay, so let's work another one. Let's see, example number 2. Oh. Okay, so let's try this one. Sorry, I'm trying to think of one. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to solve. Okay, we're going to do this one. We've got 3 2/10 to the second power minus bracket, open parenthesis, 9 times 4, close parenthesis, plus 9, close bracket, times 1/3, whoops, those are supposed to be in parentheses, to the second power. Okay, meaning that whole thing is to the second power. Okay, so we're going to evaluate this, meaning we're going to solve it. So we've got to go through, just like we did on the last one, and we ask ourselves, okay, do I have parentheses, brackets, or braces, meaning grouping symbols? Yes. Now, these are grouping symbols, however, they're already a single number. What they're doing is being a grouping symbol for the exponents, so don't let that confuse you too much, okay? So, we have grouping symbols, so we're going to come to here, okay? That's our innermost set of grouping symbols. So I've got to rewrite. So I've got 3 2/10 to the second power minus open bracket. Now, when I take care of this, I'm done with that set of parentheses, so I can take them away. 9 times 4 is 36, plus 9, close bracket, times 1/3 squared. Okay? Okay. So now, I keep going. I'm going to go again. So, do I have brackets, braces, parentheses? I do. I still have brackets, so I've got to come here. So I'm going to rewrite my problem. I've got 3 2/10 to the second power minus 36 plus 9. Well, 9 plus 6 would result in a 5. Regroup my 1, so that's 45. It's also kind of like my skip counting patterns, right? Okay. So I've taken care of that. I have no more brackets because I'm done with those. So I've got 3 2/10 squared minus 45 times 1/3 squared. Okay? So now, do I have parentheses, brackets, or braces? No. So I'm going to move to exponents. Now, when you have a problem like this where you have exponents in 2 places, just work them in the way that you see them from left to right, okay? Because all you're going to have to do is solve for that and then rewrite the problem with that answer in it, okay? So 3 2/10 squared. So come over here to the side and go 3 2/10 times 3 2/10. Okay, so I've got that. 2 times 2, 4, 2 times 3, 6, 0, 6, 9, I add 4, 12, 10, 2 places behind the decimal, so it's 10 24 hundredths. So I'm going to put that here, 10.24 minus 45 times, now I have 1/3 squared. So I come over here, I'm going to say, okay, 1/3 times 1/3. Well, 1 times 1 is 1, 3 times 3 is 9, so it would be times 1/9. Right? So everybody see where I'm getting that? Okay, so I'm funneling it down. I've taken care of both sets of exponents in the same deal. So I've got 10 24 hundredths minus 45 times 1/9. So now, do I have any more exponents? No. Multiplication and division from left to right. I do have multiplication and division. I have multiplication and division right here, correct? So I've got to do this before I do this. So I'm going to put 10 24 hundredths minus, I'm waiting for this answer, so I'm going to come over here, 45 over 1 times 1/9. Well, it becomes 45 over 9. Well, I see that as an improper fraction, so I divide in order to simplify. 45 divided by 9 equals 5. So now I have 10 24 hundredths minus 5. Don't forget, invisible math says I have a decimal right here to the right of my 5, and I have 0. I see that there's hundredths placed, so I'm going to go ahead and put 2 zeros. If you need to, bring it over here and say, okay, I've got to line this up. I got 4, I got 2, 0, 10, 5. So, my answer is 5 24 hundredths for that numerical expression. Okay? So, what I would like for you to do, coming into class, okay, you have an entrance ticket. It's going to have 2 things on it, and I just want it, let's see, I want it on the left-hand side. Okay, so I just flipped it to the left-hand side. Notice this is the right, this is the left. Okay? So, entrance ticket for Wednesday and Thursday for your day 3. Okay? So, number 1, what movie is my daughter watching? While we're taking these notes, which one is she watching? Number 2, I want you to evaluate Ooh, here's a good one. $36 8/10 divided by 11 5/10 minus 2 5/10. Remember, this is a multiplication symbol, times 3, close parentheses, close brackets to the second power. So that means everything that you solve within these brackets, when you get that answer, it is to the second power, whatever it is, before you ever divide. Okay, so that's the first one you're going to evaluate. Leave you lots of room here because you're going to need quite a bit. And then number 3. Okay, number 3. Now this one's a little different. So I've got 12 times 3 to the second power plus 36. Okay? So in this one you have to insert grouping symbols to make the expression have a value of 540. Okay, that is your job. So in this, you've got to insert grouping symbols to make the expression have a value of 540. Now, this one, you get it correct. You have to tell me how, and then you might get a prize. Okay, guys, have a great rest of your day. Make sure you do your Cornell notes too, if you haven't already done them. And I will see you guys tomorrow.